A victory by knockout is greatly adored by boxing enthusiasts, particularly when it occurs within the initial round. It is indisputable that we, as fans, derive immense joy from observing the aftermath of a precise and forceful strike. As the fighter grapples with adversity, their coordination falters, and they desperately attempt to regain composure, only to ultimately succumb to the canvas of the ring. Throughout boxing's history, numerous remarkable knockouts have occurred, yet certain fights have concluded due to illegal punches. In such instances, fans invariably find themselves divided into two camps, one that embraces the spectacle of the knockout and another that advocates for strict adherence to the rules. Let us recall some of these contentious bouts and determine to which group we align ourselves.
A unanimous decision victory against Butler just ran across the ring. Butler just went over there, sucker punch and knocked out Grant.
In July 2009, Billy Dib fought Kenichi Yamaguchi for the WBO Asia Pacific featherweight title. Dib, also known as Billy the Kid, was a prominent figure in Australian boxing during the 2000s and 2010. He possessed great talent as both a featherweight and super lightweight fighter, boasting a commendable record of 22 wins and 1 loss, with his sole defeat coming against Steve Eleno for the WBO world title. Nearly 9 months following that bout, he faced off against Kenichi Machine Gun Yamaguchi, a Japanese fighter. Yamaguchi began his career with a draw and held a record of 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw before embarking on an impressive 12-fight unbeaten streak, which ultimately led to his encounter with Dib. Right after the bell, Yamaguchi swiftly charged towards Dib, but the Australian evaded the assault. Shortly thereafter, the Japanese fighter successfully connected with a powerful left hook, causing Dib to be knocked down onto the canvas. Despite the fact that the blow that caused the Australian to fall struck the back of his head, the knockdown was duly counted. Dib did not contest the blow and the fight continued. Yamaguchi resorted to unsportsmanlike tactics, making it exceedingly challenging for Dib to adhere to his game plan. However, in the 3rd minute, the Australian launched a fierce offensive, swiftly flooring Yamaguchi with a powerful right hook. Subsequently, he unleashed another strike, connecting with the vulnerable Japanese fighter. Despite the evident foul, referee Lesfer proceeded to count the knockdown. Yamaguchi was visibly rattled by the successive blows, leading the referee to intervene and halt the fight, declaring Billy the Kid Dib the victor. However, Yamaguchi's team approached the WBO, which subsequently ruled the bout as a no contest the following month. Thankfully, reason prevailed in reviewing the fight, yet the chaos and controversy that unfolded within the ring remained unjustifiable. In May 1995, a highly anticipated clash unfolded between two talented boxers, Polish fighter Andrew Golota and Tongan-American fighter Samson Powa. Both pugilists boasted remarkable records and had been steadily ascending in the realm of boxing. Andrew Golota, having remained unbeaten, had emerged victorious in 23 bouts consecutively, with an impressive 20 wins achieved before the scheduled duration. Andrew Golota had a lengthy and notably triumphant amateur career preceding this bout, reaching its pinnacle with a bronze medal at the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul. On the other hand, his opponent Samson Powa held a record of 15 wins and 1 loss, with a preference for swift endings to his fights. All 15 of Powa's victories came by way of knockout. While possessing formidable strength, Powa tended to struggle in fights that extended beyond the early rounds, often experiencing a decline in form. The initial 2 rounds of the bout were dominated by Golota, showcasing his control. However, in the 3rd round, Powa was subjected to 2 standing knockdowns and ultimately counted out. It appeared that Golota was invincible in this contest, but an unexpected turn of events occurred in the 4th round. Powa delivered a staggering blow from the right, leaving Golota stunned, and proceeded to unleash a barrage of powerful punches, causing significant damage to Andrew. Golota struggled to maintain his balance, teetering on the verge of collapse, and resorted to clinching in an attempt to evade his opponent's relentless assault. During one of these clinches, Golota resorted to biting Powa on the shoulder. Despite Samson's protest about the bite, the referee disregarded the complaint and instructed the fighters to resume. Golota teetered on the brink of a knockdown but managed to withstand the onslaught until the round concluded. Consequently, the Polish fighter sustained a cut on his forehead. Golota regained his composure and successfully knocked down his opponent 3 times in the 5th round, leading to the referee's decision to stop the fight in his favor. It was peculiar that Golota did not receive a point deduction for the bite, although it would not have altered the outcome of the match. On July 31, 2010, a controversial fight unfolded between super middleweight contender Saki BKA and undefeated Jean-Paul Mendy. The victor of this match was set to become the mandatory challenger for the IBF super middleweight title. Australian boxer Saki BKA, known as Scorpion, had emerged triumphant in his previous 6 bouts. However, BKA had been inactive for a year, while Mendy had amassed an impressive winning streak. Despite this, Mendy's profile remained relatively unknown in the United States. He showcased speed and solid defensive skills, although he lacked experience and had not been thoroughly tested. As the fight commenced, both fighters adopted a cautious approach, exchanging jabs to gauge each other's abilities. Mendy was caught off guard as he failed to evade a powerful left hook from the Australian boxer. BKA capitalized on this opportunity by targeting Mendy's body before delivering a barrage of punches to his head. Starting with a left hook, followed by a right cross and another hook, Mendy was forced to drop to one knee, experiencing a knockdown. However, the resilient Scorpion proved unstoppable. BKA unleashed a reckless and illicit right uppercut to Mendy's chin, resulting in the Frenchman being knocked down to the canvas. Referee Joe Cortez swiftly disqualified BKA at 1 minute 18 seconds of the first round, and Mendy was promptly transported to the hospital for medical attention. A notable scandal unfolded at the European Junior Boxing Championships held in Zagreb, Croatia, in 2014. On the tournament's opening day, Vito Lonkar from Croatia faced Algirdas Benulius from Lithuania in the ring. During the second round of the bout, the judge ruled a technical knockdown against the 18-year-old Lonkar, despite Vito's clear display of being in good condition and ready to continue the fight. However, the decision made by Polish referee Mejgaja Zajagoda prematurely declared Lonkar as the loser, triggering an intense overreaction from the Croatian boxer. The boxers retreated to their corners. Frustrated by the referee's decision, Lonkar took off his gloves and, without waiting for the announcement of the winner, launched an assault on the referee using his fists. Swiftly reacting to the situation, one of the cornermen promptly intervened and managed to remove the boxer from the ring. The referee was hospitalized due to a head injury resulting from the incident, and Lonkar was apprehended by the local police. Subsequently, a trial was initiated, leading to the disqualification of Lonkar's coaches, who accompanied him to the match for a temporary period. Vito Lonkar, on the other hand, received a lifetime ban from participating in boxing. Now let's delve into the peculiar trilogy between American Terry Norris and Dominican Luis Santana. This unexpected rivalry sparked a popular boxing anecdote. Terry, known as the formidable Norris, was renowned as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters globally. In contrast, Luis, nicknamed El Cucuso Santana, was considered an average boxer and was nearly a decade older than Norris. Their initial encounter unfolded in Mexico City in November of 1994. Norris, who was at the pinnacle of his career and held the WBC 154-pound title, entered the bout expecting a straightforward defense of his championship. With his speed, he swiftly claimed victory in the first 2 rounds. However, in the third round, Santana delivered a powerful right cross to Norris' chin, causing a significant impact and shaking him. Subsequently, El Cucuso unexpectedly pulled Norris down to the canvas, leading to a puzzling decision by the referee to count it as a knockdown. Terry expressed his outrage at the ruling. Despite the incident, Santana persisted in the fight. In the fourth round, Norris had a point deducted for headbutting Santana, resulting in a cut that left Luis's face bloodied. With the score even at 2 rounds each, the boxers proceeded to the 5th round. Terry kept the pressure on and landed many hits, but Santana held his ground. Just a minute before the round ended, they were near the ropes. Norris struck Santana with a prohibited rabbit punch from behind, causing him to instantly fall and not get up again. Santana was taken out of the ring on a stretcher and later diagnosed with a mild concussion. Norris was convinced that Santana was pretending, but he ended up losing the belt, indicating that a rematch was imminent. Their second match, held in Las Vegas 5 months later, proved to be a challenging encounter. It surprised fans once again. Norris entered the fight as a heavy 13-1 favorite. Terrible Terry dominated the first round, landing significant blows with a considerable margin. In the second round, he successfully knocked down Santana with a powerful right cross followed by a series of hooks. As the round progressed, Norris unleashed a flurry of wild punches, overwhelming his opponent. However, Santana displayed remarkable resilience, enduring the onslaught. In the third round, Santana suffered another knockdown from a powerful right hook. Surprisingly, Norris landed another blow on the already down Dominican, but it lacked force, and the referee did not intervene. Nevertheless, it served as a reminder that Norris was not adhering to fair fighting practices. Despite his dominance in the ring until the end of the round, an unexpected turn of events took place. The bell chimed to signal the round's conclusion. The referee stepped in, separating the fighters and exchanging words with Santana. Norris, who later insisted he did not hear the bell, impulsively launched an attack as soon as Santana started moving away from the referee. He floored him with a strong right hook. Santana couldn't lift his arms in time to protect himself. Similar to their first encounter, Santana had to be carried out of the ring on a stretcher, and Norris was disqualified. In their third bout, 4 months later, Norris achieved a decisive victory over Luis Santana, knocking him out in the second round and claiming the WBC belt. This trilogy stands out as one of the most unpredictable and peculiar in boxing history. Shifting gears, the next matchup featured non-boxers, former professional cricket players Andrew Penn and David Lawrence, in a celebrity exhibition boxing match. Right from the start, as the bell rang, both fighters wasted no time and launched their attacks. Andrew Penn took the initial lead, launching a relentless offensive assault on his opponent. However, David Lawrence swiftly seized the initiative, delivering a barrage of forceful punches to Penn's head. Penn shifted to a defensive stance, attempting to mount a counterattack. However, the referee intervened, preventing the boxers from entering into a clinch. Seizing the opportunity, Lawrence pressed on and forcefully threw Penn onto the ropes with a powerful right cross. Following a devastating hard cross, Andrew Penn found himself in a state of standing knockout. However, David Lawrence showed no mercy. Despite the referee's attempts to halt the fight, Lawrence remained oblivious and continued to unleash a flurry of uncontrolled punches. The relentless assault resulted in Andrew Penn succumbing to a profound knockout. Consequently, David "Sid" Lawrence was disqualified, and the victory was awarded to Andrew Penn. In August 1994, a bout unfolded between former heavyweight world champion Riddick Bowe and undefeated prospect Buster Mathias Jr., who boasted a pristine record of 14-0. Riddick Bowe, known as Big Daddy Bowe, had suffered his sole defeat in his previous encounter against Evander Holyfield, relinquishing the WBA and IBF titles. Due to a string of fight cancellations prompted by Bowe's injuries, the fighters eventually stepped into the ring to settle their contest. The seasoned Bowe wasted no time asserting his dominance and convincingly secured victory in the initial 3 rounds. Big Daddy displayed comfort in maintaining a distance when Mathias Jr. escaped the clinch. With a minute remaining in the round, Bowe initiated a swift assault, compelling his opponent to kneel under the onslaught of powerful punches. However, Riddick couldn't restrain himself and delivered a forceful and impactful right hook that rendered Mathias unconscious while he was in a kneeling position. Initially, there were discussions of disqualifying Bowe for the violation. However, ultimately, the decision was made to declare the fight a no contest, nullifying the outcome. Continuing with our topic, we now delve into a widely known fight that has garnered attention from boxing fans and non-fans alike. We are referring to the highly anticipated rematch between legendary heavyweights Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, which took place in June 1997, 7 months after their initial bout that resulted in an unexpected victory for Holyfield. Despite being a significant underdog, Holyfield managed to surprise not just the boxing world but also Tyson himself. He defeated Tyson, causing him to lose the WBA belt and incur his second career loss. As the fight commenced, Tyson's trademark aggression seemed somewhat subdued. In the early moments of the second round, Holyfield evaded Tyson's right cross and unintentionally clashed heads with him, leading to a cut over Tyson's right eye. Tyson often raised concerns about headbutts in their bout. Tyson unleashed a flurry of punches in the third round, landing significant blows. However, in a clinch near the end of the round, Tyson shocked everyone by biting Holyfield's right ear. Holyfield reacted with a leap of pain, spinning around as blood poured from the wound. The referee considered disqualifying Tyson but followed the doctor's advice to let the fight continue. As a consequence of his actions, Tyson had 2 points deducted by the referee. Despite this, the fight continued, and in the subsequent clinch, Tyson shockingly bit Holyfield again, this time on his left ear. Unfortunately, the referee did not witness the second bite, and the fight continued until the scheduled time expired. Both boxers returned to their corners, and it was only afterwards that the second bite was discovered, leading to the fight being stopped. Holyfield was declared the winner of the fight by disqualification, thus retaining his title. Meanwhile, Mike Tyson, due to his unsportsmanlike behavior, suffered not only another defeat but also had his boxing license revoked. Additionally, he was fined a substantial amount of $3 million for his actions in the bout. Let's revisit the middleweight bout between the undefeated IBF champion, Arthur Abraham from Germany, and the American boxer Andre Durrell. This fight took place as part of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic tournament. In the early stages of the fight, King Arthur Abraham appeared somewhat passive, enabling Andre Durrell to assert his dominance in the ring. Durrell showcased his boxing skills, easily outboxing Abraham and achieving a career-first knockdown in the 4th round with a powerful left cross. However, as the fight progressed and Abraham sensed he was trailing on the scorecards, he took charge. In the 10th round, Abraham landed a precise blow that sent Durrell to the canvas. However, to the surprise of many, the referee did not initiate a count despite the clear knockdown. In the 11th round, Durrell slipped and knelt on the canvas, but Abraham, driven by his aggression, delivered a blow to Durrell's head, causing him to fall and clutch his head in pain. The fight was immediately halted, and after a brief period, the ring announcer declared Durrell the winner by disqualification as a result of Abraham's actions. The decision sparked extensive debate in the boxing world, leading to conflicting opinions and discussions that lasted for a significant period of time. In September 2000, an unusual bout unfolded between the unbeaten WBA champion, Freddie Norwood, boasting an impressive 38-0 record, and title contender Derek Gainer, who held a 35-5 record. Norwood had secured the WBA featherweight title in April 1998 and was defending it for the 9th time against Gainer. Despite Gainer's sole loss in his previous 19 fights, he remained resolute in his pursuit to claim the championship belt from the reigning champion. Gainer won the first 2 rounds and knocked Norwood down with a hard left cross in the 2nd minute of the 2nd round. In the 3rd round, Norwood began to commit fouls and landed some low blows. In the final minute of the 5th round, he struck Gainer with a couple of blows to the groin. In the 6th round, Gainer retaliated with a tight uppercut below the belt after the referee had started to separate the fighters. In the 8th round, Gainer delivered a powerful jumping uppercut that stunned the champion. Then, in the 2nd minute of the 9th round, Gainer continued his assault and knocked Norwood down with a pair of hooks. In the following round, Norwood resorted to a hip throw and added an illegal rabbit punch. The climax occurred in the 11th round when the fighters exchanged low blows at the start of the round. Norwood struck first, but the referee did not intervene. In response, Gainer delivered 2 strong uppercuts to the groin, causing the champion to fall to the floor of the ring. Strangely, the referee began counting to 20 instead of allowing Norwood to recover. Freddie managed to rise to a count of 18, but the referee ultimately stopped the fight in favor of Derek Gainer. Referee Paul Sita later explained that he did not see Norwood fall from the blows to the groin. Despite Gainer winning on the judges' cards, his victory was marred by the controversial refereeing decision made by Paul Sita, resulting in a TKO defeat for Freddie Norwood. The next incident occurred not during a fight, but after it. It involved the bout between James the Harlem Hammer Butler and Richard Alien Grant in November 2001. The fight was held as a charity event for the survivors of the September 11, 2001 attacks on New York firefighters and policemen. These two boxers had previously met in the early stages of their careers over 4 years prior. In their initial encounter, Richard Grant, representing Jamaica, emerged victorious in a 4-round fight. Following that, Butler went on a winning streak of 16 consecutive victories but suffered a defeat in his most recent fight for the IBF super middleweight title. On the other hand, Richard Grant experienced a mixed record of wins and losses. On paper, the odds seemed to favor the American fighter. However, in the rematch, Butler once again lost to Grant. Grant showcased superior boxing skills and secured a victory through a 10-round unanimous decision. As Richard Grant celebrated his triumph, Butler's gloves were removed. While it was expected that the Jamaican would approach his opponent's side of the ring for a customary exchange of congratulation, Butler instead landed a right hook on Grant, catching him off guard. Grant suffered a dislocated jaw and a torn tongue that required 26 stitches. Butler was subsequently arrested and charged with aggravated assault. He was later convicted and served a 4-month sentence in a detention facility on Rikers Island. The last fight on our list featured undefeated boxers Roy Jones Jr., with a record of 34-0, and Montel Griffin, with a record of 26-0. Dubbed the Battle of the Invincibles, it took place in March 1997 for the WBC light heavyweight title held by Roy Jones Jr., a 3-weight world champion who was considered the favorite in the fight. However, Griffin surprised everyone by controlling the early stages of the fight. He gained an advantage on the scorecards, but Jones adjusted to his opponent's style, and by the 9th round, Griffin held a slim 1-point lead. In the 9th round, Jones picked up the pace and unleashed a barrage of punches on Griffin. Unable to withstand the onslaught, Griffin opted to sit down on his knee to avoid further damage. However, Jones continued his assault and delivered 2 side blows to the unsuspecting Griffin, causing him to fall face down on the canvas. Referee Tony Perez initiated a countdown for Griffin, but he was unable to continue the fight. Initially believing he had won by knockout, Jones began celebrating. However, to his surprise, the referee announced that he had been disqualified for an illegal punch, resulting in Jones' first professional defeat and crowning Griffin as the new WBC light heavyweight champion. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video, leave your comments below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications. If you haven't subscribed yet, we encourage you to do so now. Thank you, and we'll see you next time in the ring.